Society often paints a very specific and tragic picture of the older man who lives alone. We are told he is isolated, bitter, and secretly longing for companionship. But the reality is a psychological secret most people will never understand. He isn't lonely, he is finally free. The modern narrative dictates that human happiness is strictly defined by constant socialization and romantic entanglement. When society observes a senior man who has actively stepped away from the dating market, who prefers quiet weekends in his garage over crowded social events, it rushes to diagnose him as broken. But if you sit down and speak with these men, you will uncover a profound psychological truth. They are not suffering in their solitude. They are actively reveling in it. After decades of navigating the labyrinth of career pressures, family obligations, financial burdens, and complex relationships, the aging masculine mind undergoes a massive paradigm shift. He calculates the true cost of his peace, and he realizes that solitude is not a punishment, it is the ultimate reward. Today, we are going to explore the hidden psychology of the sovereign senior man. We will dissect the 7 undeniable reasons why older men secretly and deeply enjoy being alone. Let us uncover the truth. They finally escape the crushing weight of constant expectations. From the moment a young boy enters the world, society places a heavy yoke around his neck. He is conditioned to believe that his inherent value is zero, and that he must earn his right to exist by becoming a human utility. He is expected to be the breadwinner, the problem solver, the emotional rock, and the silent martyr. For 40 years, a man's life belongs to everyone but himself. He wakes up for his employer. He sacrifices his evenings for his children. He compromises his weekends to appease a romantic partner. He operates under the constant, suffocating pressure of expectations. But when a man reaches 60 and finds himself alone, a profound psychological liberation occurs. He retires the invisible provider badge. Consider the practical reality. When he wakes up on a Saturday morning, there is no honey-do list. There is no one demanding that he fix the sink, run errands, or attend a social gathering he despises. For the first time in half a century, he does not owe the world a single ounce of his energy. He secretly enjoys being alone because solitude is the only environment where he is allowed to exist simply as a human being rather than a utility. The performance is over, and the relief is intoxicating. Silence transforms from a void into an absolute luxury. We must look at the biological reality of aging, the human nervous system. After decades of absorbing the shockwaves of life, reaches a state of sensory fatigue. In clinical psychology, allostatic load refers to the physiological wear and tear on the body caused by chronic stress and constant environmental noise. When a man is young, he fills his environment with noise to avoid facing himself. But as he ages, noise becomes an abrasive irritant. Think of the practical reality of living with another person. It means compromising your sonic environment. It means listening to television shows you hate, enduring dramatic arguments over trivial inconveniences, and constantly processing the vocal demands of a partner. The solitary senior man secretly revels in the absolute perfection of a quiet house. He can sit in his living room for 3 hours and hear nothing but the ticking of a clock and the sound of his own breathing. This silence is a psychological tranquilizer. It lowers cortisol. It stabilizes blood pressure. He protects his solitude because it is the only place where his mind is finally allowed to rest without interruption. They realize that solitude is the exact opposite of loneliness. Society deliberately conflates these two concepts to keep people trapped in the cycle of endless socialization. We are conditioned to believe that if no one is around us, we are failing. But psychology draws a very sharp distinction. Loneliness is a state of psychological starvation. It is the painful feeling of isolation. Solitude, however, is a state of psychological abundance. When a man is in his 20s, a Friday night spent alone often triggers anxiety, the fear of missing out. He uses the pursuit of romance or crowded bars to fill the uncomfortable silence of his own mind. But as a man matures, he undergoes what Carl Jung called individuation. He integrates his true self. He discovers that he is actually excellent company for himself. He realizes that a romantic partner was never the missing piece to his puzzle. He was a complete picture all along. He looks at his empty living room and does not see a void waiting to be filled by a woman. He sees a rich, fertile landscape of self-discovery. He secretly loves being alone because he has finally become best friends with the man in the mirror. They sleep significantly better without stress. This point is deeply biological, yet rarely discussed. Sleep architecture. The quality and depth of our rest is the foundation of human health. When you share a living space in a bed with a romantic partner, your sleep is constantly compromised. Consider the practical friction of cohabitation. There are mismatched sleep schedules. There is the physical disruption of a restless partner. But most devastatingly, there is the psychological phenomenon of pillow talk turning into nighttime arguments. How many men have laid awake at 2:00 a.m., their heart racing with cortisol, because a partner decided to initiate a stressful conversation about finances or relationship issues right before bed? The solitary senior man secretly rejoices when he locks his front door at night. He knows that when his head hits the pillow, no one will start an argument. No one will bring a bad mood into the bedroom. He sleeps in the exact center of the bed in a perfectly temperature-controlled room, and his nervous system powers down completely. The deep restorative sleep he achieves in solitude adds years to his lifespan, and he knows it. They rediscover their passions and enter the flow state. During the primary building years of a man's life, his personal hobbies are the first casualties of his responsibilities. The garage that was meant for restoring a classic car becomes a storage unit for children's toys. The time he wanted to spend painting, reading history, or fishing is consumed by overtime hours and family obligations. But when a senior man steps into the realm of solitude, a renaissance occurs. He reclaims his schedule. Psychologists refer to the flow state as a period of optimal human experience, where a person is completely immersed in an activity for its own sake. When a man is alone, he can spend 6 uninterrupted hours building a piece of furniture without a partner complaining that he isn't paying attention to her. He secretly loves being alone because his home transforms into a laboratory for his own curiosity. He does not have to justify how he spends his time or his money on these pursuits. He reconnects with the boy he used to be, the boy who loved doing things simply because they brought him joy. Not because they brought him a paycheck. They fiercely protect their financial freedom. By the time a man reaches his 60s, the wealth he has accumulated is not just money, it is his survival. It is the result of 4 decades of blood, sweat, and deferred dreams. When a man enters the dating market at this age, the financial risks are astronomical. He is acutely aware that many women in this age bracket are looking for a soft landing for their own retirement. If he takes a girlfriend or a new wife, the financial extraction begins. He is expected to fund expensive dinners, subsidize her lifestyle, or worse, fall into the trap of cohabitation laws, where simply living together can legally entitle a partner to half of his estate. The solitary senior man secretly loves his status because it grants him absolute financial sovereignty. He does not have to argue over a budget. He does not have to finance someone else's adult children. If he wants to spend his money on a new truck, he buys it. If he wants to leave his entire estate to his grandchildren, he does. He refuses to let the legacy he bled for become a retirement plan for a stranger. The ultimate psychological secret that most people never understand. Society believes that the ultimate goal of human existence is to be needed. We are told that if no one needs us, we have no purpose for his entire life. The man validated his existence by being needed by his boss, his wife, and his children. But the senior man who chooses solitude has unlocked a higher tier of enlightenment. He realizes that true freedom is not the ability to fulfill everyone's needs. True freedom is the profound absence of the desire to be needed at all. He stops abandoning himself to please the crowd. He discovers that he does not need to play the role of the savior, the provider, or the romantic hero to justify his breath. He looks in the mirror and realizes that simply existing is enough. The older man secretly enjoys being alone because he has finally won the game. He has survived the matrix of societal expectations and built a kingdom of one. He knows that it is 1,000,000 times better to enjoy the silence of your own empire than to share a throne with someone who brings chaos into your sanctuary. To the younger men watching this, observe the sovereign man. Learn the value of your peace, your time, and your own company before the world forces you to. And to the older men watching this, the ones who have embraced the quiet, who have built their fortresses and locked the gates to drama, you are not broken. You are elite strategists who have finally mastered reality. If this perspective resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Head down to the comments and tell me, what is the #1 reason you secretly enjoy being alone? Your wisdom will help guide the men who are still fighting blindly through the storm. If this exploration of the sovereign man has changed how you view the quiet strength of solitude, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. We are uncovering the psychological truths that society often tries to ignore. Protect your peace and build your empire. Our next deep dive into the masculine mind will be opening soon.